Hello, legends, heroes, and poopy heads. Welcome to the Omni Flash channel, where Omni Flash will take gaming to the next level.
Ladies and gentlemen, gamers of all ages, it is time to get excited because Diablo Immortal is getting a massive update with not one, not two, but 3 huge changes that will completely shake up the game and take PvP to the next level. First up, there is going to be some adjustments to make Defender's advantage disappear from Battlegrounds. Okay, so last time changed it from 55 attackers be defeated to 65 attackers defeated, and that helped the balance a lot. There's going to be even more improvements in this update. Secondly, there are going to be some huge improvements to curse gear. Okay, so curse gear many of them were lackluster, hard to use, and the negative effects of curse gear was a little bit too much. They have improved it tremendously, making curse gears a lot easier to use, and a lot of people just ignored curse gears because they weren't worth it. Okay, just all the negative effects was a huge problem. We're going to get into that right now. And then thirdly, there is going to be 36 tremendously awesome legendary gears that's going to change the meta. The monk and barb meta may not be here anymore. We might have to say goodbye. Okay, so for the first change, Battlegrounds and Rite of Exile change. Now when defenders are pushing back the idol in Phase 2 of Battlegrounds and in Rite of Exile, those idols will march backwards slower. Alright? So you're not able to just kill off one side of the idols and then those idols would just walk back to base very quickly. Now they will walk back very slowly. Okay, so basically what that does, it allows the attackers enough time to run back to the idol, because as the idols inch closer to the enemy's crystal, it becomes harder and harder to push because the enemies will spawn right next to the idols. Okay, so now with the idols not moving as much when you are wiped, attackers can actually have enough time to get back to the fight. But that's not all. We've heard your feedback and had some serious improvements to curse gear. I believe that the curse gear update is probably the best part of this update. First of all, the bluster, the tornado that knocks up the enemies and stuns them for 2 seconds, will now automatically target the nearest enemy. Originally, it would shoot out directly in front of you, which making it most useless if someone kicks you from the back or from the side. Alright, so they tested. It used to be where it had to be like a strong CC, a strong crowd control skill. Now they have changed the trigger condition to include additional loss of control effects. We're going to have to test this and see what that means, whether like a slow would proc it also. We'll have to test it. If like the condemn of a Crusader will proc it, we don't know. We're going to test it as soon as this update is done. Nettled, the counterattack state, will persist for the full duration even if the shield you use to activate it is broken, making Nettled actually kind of useful now, since it's only useful for 6 seconds out of every 30 seconds, right? So now it will make it so that like if you have a shield with Zen and you have Nettled on, someone attacks you, even if your shield with Zen breaks, you are still going to do counter attack damage. Tortured, supposedly the visual of the trail on the ground wasn't exactly the size of the burning trail, so that has been changed. So there are going to be 3 new negative properties. This should dilute the pool of negative properties because originally most of the negative properties on cursed gear was really bad, making a lot of people not even want to use curses. So they added dull damage to shielded enemies is reduced. Okay, so that, I mean, 3% less damage to shielded enemies, and you know those shields don't last forever. So once those shields are popped, you won't deal less damage, making this actually kind of not as painful as 3% primary attack reduce. I still don't like it, but it's not the worst. And just having 3%, I mean, unless you have multiples of this curse, it won't be too bad. Enfeebled. Damage dealt to full life enemy is reduced. Well, this is awesome. I like this new negative effect, making it one of my favorites simply because, you know, most enemies do not have completely full life, and they don't stay full life for very long. Parch. Healing potion cooldown is increased. No one really cares about this. So 3% longer healing potion cooldown, not a huge problem. Unless it's like a 10% longer healing potion cooldown, I'm really not going to care. So I'm going to love Parch. I might try to get 2 or 3 Parches on my cursed gear. And finally, we have 36 brand new legendary items that will completely change the way we play. Each of these legendaries has a unique ability, giving us a whole new set of strategies to try out. So whether you're a seasoned pro or starting out, you're going to want to get your hands on these legendaries. You will be able to get them from Hell 7, Hell 8, Hell 9, Hell 10, anything Hell 7 and up. Alright, so for Barbarians, there's some interesting items like the Blood Guzzle Shoulders. Each time Cleave deals damage to an enemy within 2 seconds, the damage against that enemy is increased by 10%, up to 30%. This increases the damage that Cleave does. So it possibly we'll have to test this out, see just how much damage Cleave does now with these shoulders. Now, shoulders is a piece of gear that can be replaced. It doesn't have to be one particular item. So definitely have to give Cleave another go. For pants, there is a ground stomp that will have a delayed stun. So the monks do get an anti-dash inner sanctuary. I'm going to show that to you in just a second. So this may actually be useful if there are going to be a ton of these monks with the anti-dash sanctuaries. If the anti-dash sanctuaries become a huge part of the meta, then maybe changing it, because charge isn't going to work anymore, maybe just maybe the ground stomp will become super useful. So we'll have to check out this indiscriminate heat. We have to see if that is something that will be in the new meta. Lurker's Last Chance is a main hand, making Cleave channeled. Probably will not be useful. Channeled skills get interrupted all the time, and you're just not able to channel anything for very long, especially if you're a melee character. Peace and Quiet Offhand Hammer Ancients now can be dropped, and then when activated, you and the hammer sort of sandwich your enemy. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, sort of dragging them together, something possibly useful. I have to test that out, just see how well that CCs. The chest piece, after using Hammer Ancient, your attack speed and movement speed is increased by 20%. Now that's really good. That makes Hammer Ancients possibly useful now with that buff. To be honest though, I'm gonna probably still use Sundering Legacy for Wrath of Berserker. That seems probably the best. So yeah, that offhand for the Hammer Ancients is probably not going to be used. We'll have to test it. Visage of the Living Ancient Head. Demoralized now calls on power of the Ancients to charge towards you from a targeted location. So you drop down an Ancient who will drag enemies to you. Seems like another CC skill. I'm not sure how useful that will be. They're dragged to you, then I mean, if they're dragged there and they can't escape, maybe you can hit them a couple times with your axe. Might be useful. We'll have to test that also. Alright, so now for Crusaders. There's lots of good legendaries for Crusaders. Spinning shield hits an immobilized enemy. It will stun them. So maybe if you use the Tortured Curse set, and if you use Spinning Shields, it's going to, instead of just immobilize, it will make it into a stun. I think that might be super, super nice. And that's a main hand. And there aren't any good main hands for Crusaders right now. Offhand, there's Spinning Shield that also stuns. That's pretty awesome. It's just new Spinning Shield that already stuns right off the bat. That's really, really good. Censure Trespass Pants. Shield Charge now slams your shield into the ground and pulls in newer enemies. That would be kind of nice. So now you have two skills that suck in your enemies. You have Condemn that sucks in your enemy with your Iron Suzerain, and you have the Censure Trespass Pants that lets your shield charge also suck in your enemies. Might be super, super nice. So Crown of Dissipation allows you to target your Consecration. Doesn't seem very useful. Last Defender will cause your Consecration to allow you to deal more damage, up to 10% more damage. Possibly useful in PvE. Conjuration Light is active. It will now also blind your enemies for 3 seconds. Now, it depends. If leveling up your essence to level 4 makes that blind longer. Now, 3 seconds is already pretty nice. Now, if it goes up to, let's say, 6 seconds or something, then it might actually be super useful. However, you will be giving up on the additional 39% length of Conjuration Light, which could be super bad. So we'll have to test those shoulders and test it against the shoulders that we already have that makes your invincibility longer. That's going to be a tough sell. Probably will still keep the longer immunity. Demon Hunters. Demon Hunters get a huge buff. Knockback shot now causes your primary attack to also fire blasts of wind that knock enemies away. So think about it this way. Your primary attack now actually knocks enemies back. So what we need to test this out to see how often your primary attack throws out this wind. Alright, so if this wind is constantly knocking enemies back, this would possibly make Demon Hunters way too powerful. You have this big tornado that just comes out every 6 seconds. It's going to be insane. We're going to have to test this chest piece out and see how insane this is. Oh, and also this synergizes with the headpiece False Manifesto. Whenever you use knockback shot, your primary attack speed increased 30% for 4 seconds. So that's huge damage. Huge damage. The pants for Knife Trap attracts enemies. PvE not useful. Precipitous Execution Shoulders, Rain of Vengeance, makes flame arrows. Supposedly that combos with your knockback shot chest item to make you crit. So we'll have to see if that Rain of Vengeance will actually combo with that wind. So it might actually be really good. Just depends on how often your primary attack, your crossbow shot, is going to actually shoot out those tornadoes. Theory of Retribution offhand now deals additional damage whenever it hits the same enemy 3 times. So the Hungerer offhand used to be the #1 go-to offhand for all Demon Hunters for as long as the game has been out. Now you have the Theory of Retribution, which actually might be better. This way you'll be able to kill one enemy off at a time, sacrificing the damage to enemies behind them, but will increase the amount of damage you deal to that one enemy getting closer to you and trying to kill you. Next up, we have Tiresome Rebuke main hand, which is very interesting. It allows you to fire hatred or discipline arrows that will either make your enemies more vulnerable, take more damage, or slow them. So this will cause, this is great. You can make your enemies take more damage slowed, but if they are hit with both type of arrows, they will also be stunned. This might actually be super good if you want more survivability. Okay, more survivability also makes that particular target take more damage. I find this to be super interesting. We'll have to see how long that stun is to see if it is actually worth not having the excavator. You know, having those extra knives shoot out when you have impale is actually pretty awesome. Lots of damage. However, having an extra stun in your kit may save your life. Now, monks have a new headpiece for Inner Sanctuary that is actually anti-monk, anti-barbs, anti-anything that has a dash. All right, so it's very powerful. I mean, if you are a battle mage and you are stuck inside this Inner Sanctuary, you're not able to teleport out. Necromancers also get a teleport now that fears, right? This will be anti-necro. This new Inner Sanctuary will be anti pretty much all classes, not allowing them to run away. So I find this to be kind of interesting. It might be the best Inner Sanctuary ever. Inner Sanctuary now forms a spiritual spear, greatly reducing the movement speed of your enemies. The slow will probably mean that you're going to be still punching them for the remainder of their lives, and you know, they might not make it out of this circle alive. And while they're in this Inner Sanctuary circle, dash skills will not be able to be used. Alright, so Desert Strider Pants will cause it so that Wave of Light deals more damage. Up to 30% more damage. This probably will actually synergize with the new shoulders called the Shoulders of Vilnas, which makes Wave of Light channeled, dropping a golden bell in front of you, and you're hitting that bell, making it damage nearby enemies. It might be useful in PvE, but as a channel skills don't really work in PvP. The Noble's Path chest is very, very interesting. I'm probably going to use the Noble Path chest. This will allow Flying Dragon to knock up your enemies, and then you will fly to them, kicking them in a flurry, and also stunning them. Alright, so this will make Flying Dragon, it's a very cool Flying Dragon skill. Most likely all monks will probably start using that. Order Without Sin Manhand. The final strike of Fist of Thunder full combo now generates a ball of lightning that deals damage continually. This is a nice main hand. Everyone uses Fist of Thunder. Now, when you use Fist of Thunder, it's going to generate a lightning ball that drops on the battlefield and does continuous damage. So I'm thinking that this might be super useful, even against bosses. You're able to generate a lightning ball that sits on top of an enemy boss. I mean, it seems very, very strong. The Vedanine's offhand Flying Dragon now also shatters enemy armor, increasing damage taken by 10% for 3 seconds. Very, very strong. It probably synergizes with the new chest piece very well. So whenever you use the Flying Dragon chest piece, you fly to them and stun them, they will take 10% more damage. So yeah. Flying Dragon may be in the new meta for monks. That Inner Sanctuary is anti-dash, anti-glooms, so if you have a gloom set, monks may now be the bane of your existence. However, this will change it so that monks will start having to use skills that don't dash. So we'll have to see how that works out. It's going to be very, very interesting. Necromancers have this brand new pants. Wraith form now quickly teleports you to the target and fears all of your enemies. That is superb. All right, I feel like that will be the new meta. That will be Strange Sojourn pants, teleport fear. That's going to be insane. Everyone's going to need a chip of stone flesh. Also, the chest piece makes bone spirit damage increase by 35%. So they're gonna start throwing huge ass skulls on top of you while you're feared, and that's gonna deal 35% more damage. They're gonna fear you, throw a bunch of skulls that are gonna be on top of you, and then you're gonna be dead. So I feel like this is very strong. Also, we're gonna have more CC. More CC. First, you got the fear. Now you have also the headpiece. The Emperor of Worms now causes Corpse Lance to also slow your enemies and will immobilize them if 4 lances hit them. Now, you know how many lances shoot out, right? So, and more than likely, you're going to be hit by 4 lances. You're going to be slowed, plus you're going to be immobilized. And then dead, more than likely. This might make me try out Necromancers. This update makes Necromancers feel super strong. I don't know. I kind of want to try Necromancer out now. I would have to get a lot more potency, but Necromancers feel super strong this update. Okay, Soul Levy offhand, it makes it so that it shoots out a bunch of bone spirits instantly. Now that's also really strong. Stroke of Midnight Wraith Form cooldown is decreased when you are hit. So that makes it so that you can teleport and fear your enemies faster, up to 1.5 seconds faster. The new shoulders cause corpse explosion to also fear your enemies. So that's another fear. So there's so many good new legendaries for Necromancers. I feel like Necromancers may be the best class in the next meta. Last but not least is the Wizard legendaries. We're going to start off with this very interesting Tomorrow Silhouette hat for your head. It will allow slow time to travel with you. So it's like how Crusaders will have their banners travel with them. Now slow time is a strong enemy CC. So it will allow you to survive and get away. It allows you to move around and CC all of your enemies. So that might actually make slow time slightly useful. Now you couple the slow time that follows with you with a new chest piece. Lightning Nova now transfigures you into a ball of pure lightning, okay? Which makes you move at high speeds and damage your nearby enemies. So you start running all around. You are a freaking lightning ball that also has slow time attached to you. This might be just incredibly devastating in team fights. You slow all of your enemies. They might not even be able to catch you because you are a freaking lightning ball that is just running around. So Wizards have an incredible new legendary set also, which will make them super strong. The offhand Soaring Scree, ally struck by Lightning Nova, increased movement speed. It might be something for PvE, probably not for PvP. The shoulders, Ice Armor now reduces continual damage you take. That's nice. Nothing special. The main hand, Arcane Torrent, now created as a chaotic orb that moves with you and fire arcane missiles at random targets. That's actually kind of cool. So you don't have to hold down Arcane Torrent anymore. It will just shoot extra magic missiles at your enemies. You will actually pair that with the new pants. Whenever Arcane Torrent hits an enemy 4 times, they will take extra damage. I see a lot of new legendaries that make all classes super strong. And Demon Hunters get a lot of new tools, a lot of CCs. That primary attack that shoots out knockback whirlwinds, that's pretty insane. You have new Necromancer skills that slow, the Corpse Lance is slow. You have Teleport that area fears. You have this new Wizard set that allows slow time to go with you. Plus, you turn into a lightning orb. All of these make the range classes super special, and I probably have to try out Necro. simply because all of this makes Necro super amazing. Now, let me know in the comments below what you think the next meta might be like. What do you think with all these new legendaries, what class will reign supreme? I don't think barbs are going to reign supreme anymore, especially without their dashes. I think that there will be a couple of barbs, but these range classes, necromancers, wizards, and demon hunters are looking really strong. What do you guys think that the meta is going to be? Which class is going to reign supreme? Let me know in the comments below. Also, please like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when the next video is coming out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.